Mafia boss after her ex breaks her arm. The phone trembled in Emma's bloodstained hands. Her broken arm screamed with every breath, but the pain was nothing compared to the terror hammering in her chest. She was locked in the bathroom, Marcus pounding on the door, and in her palm was a business card she'd hidden for 6 months. A card from the most dangerous man in the city. Dante Moretti, Mafia boss. Her last hope. Emma, open this door right now. Marcus's voice shook the hinges. She could hear the rage, the promise of worse to come. Her arm hung at an unnatural angle, bone definitely broken. He twisted it until she heard the snap, then smiled, actually smiled, before walking away to finish his beer. 5 years. 5 years of this hell. Tonight was different. Tonight she was done praying for miracles. Her fingers shook as she pulled out the card. Simple, black, gold lettering. A phone number. That was it. She'd kept it hidden in the lining of her purse. Moved it every time Marcus got suspicious. Protected it like a secret weapon she never thought she'd use. Oof, violently. I know you're calling someone. Who is it? Your mother? Your stupid friends. Emma had no friends left. Marcus had made sure of that. Isolated her. Controlled her. Turned her into a ghost in her own life. She dialed with her good hand. 1 ring. 2 rings. What was she doing? Dante Moretti didn't know her. They'd met once. She was waitressing at Carmelo's, the upscale restaurant downtown. She'd been nervous, new, and when she brought his table their wine, her hand shook so badly she spilled some on the white tablecloth. She'd frozen, terrified. She knew who he was. Everyone did. The Moretti name was whispered in fear across the city. But he just smiled. Not the cold smile she'd expected. Something kind. It's fine, he'd said. Accidents happen. His associates had laughed it off, but Dante had looked at her, really looked at her. And later, when he paid, he'd left his card. If you ever need anything. She'd stare at those words 1,000 times since. What could the head of the Moretti crime family possibly offer her? And at what cost? Hello. The voice was deep, smooth, dangerous. Emma's breath caught. Who is this? The door shook again. Marcus was getting a running start now. The cheap lock wouldn't hold much longer. You said, 6 months ago, you said if I ever needed anything. Silence on the other end. Had he hung up? Was she insane for even trying? The waitress. Not a question. A statement. He remembered. Emma. She almost sobbed. He knew her name. She'd never told him her name. Where are you? His voice had changed. Sharp now, focused. She could hear movement on his end, the sound of a car door. My apartment. 247 Riverside, Unit 4B. Please, I can't, my arm. He broke my... Crash. The door splintered. Marcus's fist came through, reaching for the lock. Who are you talking to? Emma screamed, dropping the phone, scrambling backward into the bathtub. Her broken arm hit the porcelain and white-hot agony exploded through her body. Marcus ripped the door open, face purple with rage. Give me that phone. But it had clattered into the corner, still connected. Emma could hear a voice coming through, calm, cold, deadly. Emma, stay where you are. I'm 8 minutes away. Marcus froze. His eyes found the phone. He snatched it up. Who the hell is this? Pause. Dante Moretti, and you just made the last mistake of your life. Emma watched the color drain from Marcus's face. Everyone in this city knew that name. Every criminal, every cop, every person who'd ever walked these streets. The Morettis didn't make threats. They made examples. I don't care who you are. She's my wife. You have no right. 7 minutes now. I suggest you use them to pray. The line went dead. Marcus stood there, phone in hand, face cycling through emotions. Fear, rage, disbelief. Then the rage won. It always won with Marcus. He grabbed Emma by her broken arm and yanked. She shrieked, vision going white. You called him? You stupid. Do you have any idea what you've done? He dragged her out of the bathroom. Emma's feet scrambled for purchase. Her good arm trying to pry his fingers loose. The pain was unreal, impossible, all-consuming. Marcus, please, please. Shut up. Shut up. He threw her onto the couch. Emma curled around her arm, sobbing, waiting for the next blow. It always came. Always. But Marcus was pacing now, running his hands through his hair. Dante Moretti. Jesus Christ, Emma. What were you thinking? Do you know what he does to people? He can't be worse than you, Emma whispered. Marcus's hand rose. Emma flinched, bracing. The doorbell rang. Silence crashed through the apartment like a physical thing. It had been 4 minutes. Maybe 5. Not 7. Not possible. The doorbell rang again. Patient. Steady. Marcus's hand slowly lowered. Emma could see the fear now, swimming beneath the rage. He was trapped, and he knew it. You don't ignore Dante Moretti's doorbell. Stay here, Marcus hissed. Don't say a word. He walked to the door. Emma heard the deadbolt slide, the chain rattle. Then Marcus's voice, trying to sound tough, failing miserably. Look, I don't know what she told you, but this is a domestic situation between husband and wife. None of your concern. A new voice. That same smooth, dangerous tone from the phone. Step aside. You can't just. The sound was quick, precise. A thud, then silence. Emma's heart hammered. She tried to sit up, gasping through the pain. Footsteps approached, steady, unhurried. She should be terrified. She just invited the devil himself into her home. But when Dante Moretti appeared in the doorway, all she felt was relief. He was tall, wearing a black suit that probably cost more than her car. Dark hair, sharp features, eyes that could cut glass. But when he looked at her, those eyes softened. Emma. He crossed the room in 3 strides, kneeling beside the couch. His hands hovered over her broken arm, not touching, assessing. We need to get you to a doctor. Marcus is no longer your concern. 2 men in dark suits appear behind Dante, lifting Marcus's unconscious body like he weighed nothing. Emma watched them carry him out, her mind struggling to process what was happening. Can you walk? Dante's voice pulled her attention back. Emma nodded, then immediately shook her head. Everything was spinning. 5 years of fear, 1 phone call, and now, I've got you. Dante slid one arm behind her back, the other under her knees, lifting her with such care it made her want to cry. He'd just knocked her husband unconscious without breaking a sweat, yet he held her like she was made of glass. My things will be collected and brought to you. Right now, we move. The hallway blurred. The stairs. The night air hit her face, cold, shocking real. A black Mercedes idled at the curb, back door open. Dante slid her into the leather seat, his coat already off and wrapped around her shoulders. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. My doctor is waiting. The car moved. Smooth. Fast. Emma cradled her broken arm, watching the city lights streak past. Her apartment building disappeared behind them. Everything she knew vanishing in seconds. What did you do to Marcus? Nothing permanent. Yet, that word hung in the air. Yet, Emma should feel guilty. She should feel something. But all she felt was numb. He'll come after me. When he wakes up, he'll. No, he won't. Dante's certainty was absolute. He wasn't looking at her, eyes fixed on the road ahead, but his presence filled the entire car. This was a man who didn't make promises. He made facts. You don't understand. Marcus doesn't stop. He doesn't let go. He'll find me, and when he does, Emma. Dante finally turned to face her. I've ended men for less than what he did to you. The only reason Marcus is still breathing is because I wanted you to see him dealt with properly. Not violently, not quickly, but thoroughly. The car turned through iron gates that opened automatically. Estate. This was an estate. Sprawling grounds, a mansion that looked like it belonged in a movie. Security everywhere. Men in suits, cameras, walls that promised nothing got in or out without permission. The car stopped at the entrance. Dante was out first, opening her door, lifting her again before she could protest. The front doors opened and a woman appeared. Older, professional, kind eyes. Mr. Moretti, the doctor is in the East Wing. Thank you, Maria. Inside was wealth Emma couldn't comprehend. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, artwork that probably cost more than she'd make in a lifetime. But Dante didn't stop to show off. He moved through hallways with purpose until they reached a bedroom. Not his bedroom. Emma could tell. This was a guest suite prepared for her. Cream-colored walls, soft lighting, a massive bed with silk sheets. And standing beside it, a gray-haired man with a medical bag. Dr. Chun, this is Emma. Broken arm, possibly fractured ribs, bruising. The doctor nodded, professional and unsurprised. How many times had he done this? How many broken people had Dante Moretti brought to him? I'll leave you to examine her. Maria will get you anything you need. Dante set Emma down on the bed, and for the first time since he arrived, she saw something in his face. Anger. Not at her. For her. His jaw was tight, his hands flexing like he wanted to hit something. Thank you, Emma whispered. He paused at the door. Rest. We'll talk tomorrow. Then he was gone, and Emma was alone with the doctor. Dr. Chun worked efficiently. X-rays with a portable machine. Her arm was definitely broken. Clean break. Would heal fine with a cast. Ribs were bruised, but not fractured. He cataloged every injury with clinical precision, but his eyes were gentle. You're safe here, he said while wrapping her cast. Mr. Moretti doesn't bring people here lightly. What does that mean? It means you matter to him, and people who matter to Dante Moretti are untouchable. The doctor left pain medication and instructions. Maria brought soup, tea, clothes that actually fit. Emma changed into silk pajamas that felt like sin against her skin, then collapsed onto the bed. She should be afraid, should be questioning everything. But exhaustion won, dragging her under into the first dreamless sleep she'd had in years. Sunlight woke her. Real sunlight, not the dim, filtered light from her apartment's single window. Emma blinked, disoriented, before remembering. Dante, the rescue, the mansion. She sat up carefully. Her arm throbbed in its cast, but the pain medication had taken the edge off. Someone had left breakfast on a nightstand. Fresh fruit, pastries, coffee that smelled like heaven. A knock at the door. Come in. Maria entered with a warm smile. Good morning, Miss Emma. How are you feeling? Confused, grateful, terrified. Take your pick. All normal reactions. Mr. Moretti asked me to tell you he'll check on you this afternoon. He had business this morning. Business. Emma wondered what that meant for a man like Dante Moretti. I don't have my phone. Mr. Moretti had it destroyed. Security precaution. If you need to contact anyone, I can arrange it. Who would she contact? Her mother lived 3 states away, and they barely spoke. Her friends, Marcus had driven them all away years ago. She was alone. No, not alone. Protected. There was a difference. Emma spent the morning exploring the guest wing. Bathroom with a tub big enough to swim in. Walk-in closet stocked with clothes in her size. Private balcony overlooking gardens that looked professionally maintained. This wasn't just a guest room. It was a sanctuary. She found herself crying. Not from pain or fear, but relief. She was out. She was safe. She'd actually escaped. Afternoon came. Emma was on the balcony, watching birds in the garden, when she heard shouting. Distant, but unmistakable. Rage-filled. Familiar. Marcus. Her blood turned to ice. Emma gripped the balcony railing, looking toward the front gates. She couldn't see them from here, but she could hear him. Emma. Emma. I know you're in there. He'd found her. Somehow, impossibly, he tracked her down. Emma backed away from the balcony, her breathing coming in gasps. 5 years of conditioning kicked in. Hide, stay quiet, don't make him angrier. Maria appeared in the doorway. Miss Emma, please don't worry. He cannot get in. You don't understand. Marcus doesn't give up. He'll find a way. Mr. Moretti is handling it. The shouting continued. Threats. Promises of what he'd do when he got his hands on her. Emma sank onto the bed, shaking. She'd been stupid to think one night would solve everything. Marcus owned her. He'd told her that 1,000 times. No one leaves me, Emma. You're mine. Hours passed. The shouting finally stopped. Emma sat frozen, waiting for Marcus to burst through the door. But he never came. Evening fell. A knock. Dante entered, and Emma could see the cold fury in his eyes. He's gone. For how long? Forever. Emma stood. You didn't. Did you kill him? No, though I wanted to. Dante moved to the window, hands in his pockets. I let him scream. Let him rage. Let him show everyone exactly what kind of man he is. Then I had my lawyers serve him with divorce papers, a restraining order, and documentation of every injury you've suffered in the past 5 years. How do you have? I have resources. Medical records can be pulled. Witnesses found. Your neighbor, Mrs. Chun? She heard you screaming 3 dozen times. Never called police because Marcus threatened her. She'll testify. Emma's legs gave out. She sat hard on the bed. He'll fight it. Let him try. Dante finally looked at her. Tomorrow, Marcus learns what happens when you cross me. Tonight, you rest. He moved toward the door. Dante, why are you doing this? He stopped. Long pause. Because 6 months ago, I saw a woman trying to be invisible, apologizing for existing. And I knew that look. I grew up watching my mother wear that same look every day until the day she finally had enough and left. I was 10. She took me with her, and we survived because someone helped us when we had nothing. I swore I'd do the same if I ever had the power. He left without waiting for a response. Emma sat in the darkness, cradling her cast, processing everything. Dante Moretti, the monster of the city, had a mother who'd been abused, had been that scared child watching his mother suffer. And now he was saving Emma. Tomorrow, Marcus would learn. But tonight, Emma finally breathed. Dawn broke, and Emma was already awake. She hadn't slept much. Every sound made her jump, convinced Marcus had somehow gotten through the gates. But morning came quiet, peaceful, and she was still safe. Maria brought breakfast and news. Mr. Moretti asks if you'd like to watch. He said you deserve to see Marcus answer for what he's done. Emma's stomach twisted. Watch what? The meeting. Mr. Moretti is handling your husband today. 20 minutes later, Emma sat in a security room, screen showing multiple camera angles of a warehouse across the city. Maria sat beside her, a silent presence of support. You don't have to watch if it's too much, Maria said softly. But Emma needed to see, needed to know Marcus couldn't hurt her anymore. The warehouse door opened. Marcus walked in, flanked by two men in suits. He looked rough, bruised face, wrinkled clothes, the arrogance still there but cracking at the edges. Then Dante appeared from the shadows. Even through the screen, Emma could feel his presence. He moved like a predator, every step controlled, calculated. Marcus tried to puff up, act tough, but Emma could see the fear in her husband's eyes. You wanted to talk? Marcus's voice came through the speakers. Fine. Let's talk about you kidnapping my wife. Kidnapping. Dante's voice was ice. Interesting word choice. She's legally my wife. You had no right. Sit down. The command was quiet but absolute. Marcus hesitated, then sat in the metal chair one of Dante's men pushed behind him. His bravado was crumbling fast. Dante circled him slowly. Let's talk about rights. Marcus, did you have the right to break Emma's arm? To isolate her from her family? To make her afraid to exist in her own home? That's between me and my wife. She's not your wife anymore. Dante dropped a folder on the table. Papers spilled out. Marcus grabbed them, his face going pale as he read. Divorce papers? You can't just. She has to agree. She already signed them. Last night, while you were screaming at my gates like a rabid dog. Emma's breath caught. She didn't remember signing anything. Then she realized Dante had probably forged her signature. Illegal, yes, but she didn't care. Marcus shot to his feet. This is illegal. I'll fight this. I'll take everything from her. Dante's hand shot out, gripping Marcus's shoulder and slamming him back into the chair. The movement was so fast, so violent. Marcus yelped. You'll do nothing. Because if you do, I'll release these. Another folder, this one thicker. Dante opened it, spreading photos across the table. Emma couldn't see them clearly on the screen, but she watched Marcus's face drain of color. What? Where did you get these? Does it matter? Embezzlement from your company. 3 years of skimming off the top. Your boss doesn't know yet. Neither do the police. But they will, Marcus, unless you disappear. You're blackmailing me? I'm giving you a choice. Sign the divorce papers. Leave the city. Never contact Emma again. Or I hand everything over to the authorities and you spend the next decade in prison. Marcus was shaking now. Emma knew that shake. It was the same one she'd had for 5 years. Fear. Pure, undiluted fear. You can't do this. I already have. Dante pulled out another stack of papers. Your apartment lease? Terminated this morning. Your bank accounts? Frozen pending investigation. Your job? Called in sick for you. Indefinitely. You're insane. You can't just erase someone's life. Watch me. The words were so cold, so final. Emma felt something break inside her chest. Not fear, but something else. Wonder. Someone was actually protecting her, actually making Marcus pay. Marcus grabbed the papers, hands shaking so badly he could barely hold them. What if I refuse? What if I go to the cops and tell them everything? Dante leaned down, face inches from Marcus's. Then you'll learn why people fear the Moretti name. I've been civil. Marcus, I've been patient. I'll let you keep breathing. But if you push me, if you even think about Emma again, I will make you disappear in ways that will have cops searching for decades without finding a trace. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. And before you think about running to the media or making this public, know that I own half the judges in this city and most of the police force. You have no moves left. You lost the moment Emma called me. Marcus was crying now, actual tears streaming down his face. Emma had never seen him cry. He'd made her cry thousands of times, but never once had he shown this kind of vulnerability. I loved her, Marcus whispered. Dante's laugh was sharp, cruel. You don't know what love is. Love doesn't leave bruises. Love doesn't break bones. Love doesn't make someone afraid to breathe. He straightened up, buttoning his suit jacket. You have 60 seconds to sign those papers. After that, my offer expires and you deal with the police instead. Marcus grabbed a pen with shaking hands. Emma watched him sign, her freedom written in his terrified scrawl. The divorce papers, the restraining order, the agreement to leave the state. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. You have family in Ohio, don't you? I suggest you start there. You leave tomorrow morning. My men will escort you to the state line to make sure you don't get lost. Marcus stood on shaking legs. Can I at least say goodbye to Emma? No. She's my wife. She was your victim, and she never wants to see you again. Dante nodded to his men. They grabbed Marcus by the arms, dragging him toward the door. He struggled weakly, shouting, Emma, Emma, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it won't happen again, please. The same words, the same promises he'd made 100 times before. Emma had believed them once. She thought he could change, that her love could save him. But watching him now, broken and begging, she felt nothing. No pity, no anger, just emptiness. The screen went dark as Marcus was removed from the warehouse. Emma sat in silence, processing everything. Maria touched her hand gently. It's over. He's gone. Just like that. Just like that. The door opened. Dante entered, still in his suit, looking completely composed. No sign of the violence Emma knew he was capable of. You watched. Emma nodded. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He'll be monitored for the next year. If he so much as Googles your name, I'll know. If he comes within 500 miles of you, I'll know. And if he ever tries to contact you. Dante didn't finish the sentence. You'd kill him. Without hesitation. Emma should be horrified, should be afraid of this man who casually talked about murder. But all she felt was safe. What now? Dante sat across from her. Now you heal. I've arranged therapy, trauma specialist, best in the city. You'll stay here as long as you need. And when you're ready, we'll help you build whatever life you want. Why? The question burst out. Why are you doing all this for me? Dante was quiet for a long moment. Because I can. Because someone should. Because 6 months ago you spilled wine on my table and apologized like you expected to be hit for it. And I knew. I saw what you were living with. I saw my mother in you. Your mother spent 15 years with a man who treated her like property. When she finally left, she had nothing. No money, no support, nowhere to go. Someone helped us, gave us a place to stay, helped her get back on her feet. I was too young to help her then. But I'm not too young now. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to repay you. You don't. You just survive. You heal. You build a life where you're not afraid. That's payment enough. He stood, moving toward the door. Dante, he paused. Your mother, is she alive and running a small bakery upstate? Happiest I've ever seen her. She remarried 5 years ago to a man who treats her like a queen. Emma smiled through her tears. I'd like to meet her someday. She'd like that too. He left her alone with Maria, with the knowledge that Marcus was truly gone, with the first real hope she'd felt in 5 years. Outside the window, the sun was shining. Emma walked to the balcony, breathing deep. The air tasted different, felt different, free. She was finally free. Weeks turned into months, and Emma found herself settling into a routine she never thought possible. Therapy twice a week with Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a woman who specialized in domestic violence survivors. The sessions were brutal, unpacking 5 years of trauma, recognizing patterns she'd normalized, understanding that none of it was her fault. But Dante was always there, not hovering, not controlling, just present. He'd check on her after therapy sessions, never asking what they discussed, just making sure she was okay. He'd join her for dinner sometimes, their conversations shifting from careful small talk to real discussions. Books, music, childhood memories that didn't hurt to recall. And somewhere in those quiet moments, Emma noticed something shifting. The way Dante looked at her, the way his voice softened when he said her name, the way he'd bring her favorite tea without being asked, remember small details she'd mentioned weeks ago, smile when she laughed at something ridiculous. He was falling for her. Maybe it had been from the start. And that terrified her more than Marcus ever had. 3 months after the warehouse confrontation, Emma was in the garden reading when Dante found her. He sat on the bench beside her, careful to leave space between them. Maria says you're looking at apartments. Emma closed her book. I can't stay here forever. You've done so much already. You can stay as long as you want. That's not what I'm saying, he paused. But I understand wanting your own space. Your own life. I need to stand on my own feet. Dr. Mitchell says it's important for my recovery. To prove to myself that I can survive independently. You're already surviving. You're thriving. Emma looked at him, really looked at him. Dante Moretti, the man the city feared, sitting in dappled sunlight, looking almost vulnerable. His walls were down around her now. She'd seen glimpses of the real person beneath the reputation. The man who called his mother every Sunday, who donated anonymously to women's shelters, who'd taken in a broken stranger because he couldn't stand by and do nothing. Dante, can I ask you something? Anything. Why haven't you? Emma struggled for words. You've been nothing but respectful. Kept your distance. But I see how you look at me sometimes. His jaw tightened. Caught. Because you need time. Because the last thing you need is another man trying to control your choices. Because he stood, pacing. Because I care about you too much to rush you into something you're not ready for. There it was. Out in the open. Emma's chest tightened. Panic rising. Dante, I can't. I know. I'm not asking you to. He turned to face her. I'm just being honest. You asked, so I'm telling you. Yes, I have feelings for you. Yes, I'd like to explore what this could be. But only if and when you're ready. And if that's never, I'll accept that too. Emma stood on shaking legs. Every instinct screamed at her to run. Relationships meant pain, meant control, meant losing herself again. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. Marcus broke something in me, and I don't know if it can be fixed. It can. It will. With time. But what if it doesn't? What if I'm too damaged? Stop. Dante crossed to her, close but not touching. You're not damaged. You're healing. There's a difference. Tears spilled down Emma's cheeks. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid of letting someone in again, of giving someone that power over me. Love isn't power over someone. It's power with someone. It's choosing each other every day, respecting boundaries, celebrating growth. What you had with Marcus wasn't love. It was captivity. Emma sobbed. Dante's arms opened in invitation, but he didn't grab her, didn't force it. She had to choose. And God help her. She stepped into his embrace. He held her while she cried, one hand stroking her hair, murmuring soft reassurances. This was different. This felt safe. But safe didn't mean she was ready. I need time, she whispered against his chest. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. For months in, Emma moved into her own apartment. Dante helped her move, his men carrying boxes, but he made sure she made every decision. Furniture, paint colors, neighborhood, all her choices. This is yours, he said as they stood in her empty living room. Your space. Your rules. I visit only when invited. Emma felt something crack open in her chest. Freedom. Real, tangible freedom. She decorated slowly. Got a job at a bookstore, low stress, surrounded by stories, perfect for rebuilding confidence. Started a support group for domestic violence survivors with Dr. Mitchell's help. Watched her bank account grow with money she earned, not money controlled by someone else. And Dante kept his word. He visited when invited, never showed up unannounced, never pressured, never pushed. But Emma could see the hope in his eyes every time she called. 6 months after leaving Marcus, Emma had a breakthrough in therapy. I deserve respect, she said, voice firm, standing in Dr. Mitchell's office. I deserve love without fear. I deserve to take up space, to have opinions, to say no, to exist without apologizing. Dr. Mitchell smiled. Say it again. I deserve respect. I deserve love without fear. The words felt like power, like reclaiming pieces of herself Marcus had stolen. Emma had spent 5 years making herself small, quiet, invisible. No more. Toxicity thrives in silence, Dr. Mitchell said. You survive by speaking up, by calling Dante, by choosing yourself. That's not weakness. That's the bravest thing you could have done. Emma left that session feeling lighter than air. She called Dante immediately. Can you come over? I want to talk. He arrived 20 minutes later, concern written across his face. Everything okay? Sit down. Dante sat on her couch, tense, clearly preparing for bad news. Emma sat across from him, hands folded. I've been thinking about us, about what you said in the garden. Emma, you don't have to. Let me finish, she smiled. 6 months ago, I couldn't imagine trusting anyone again. Couldn't imagine wanting someone close. But you've been patient. You've respected every boundary. You've shown me what healthy looks like. Dante's expression was carefully neutral. What are you saying? I'm saying, I think I'm ready to try. Slowly, very slowly, because I'm still scared and I still have work to do. But I want to try. The smile that broke across Dante's face was pure joy. Slowly is perfect. Slowly is everything. Emma stood, crossed to him, and for the first time, she reached for his hand first. Not because she had to, not because she was afraid not to, but because she wanted to. Dante's fingers intertwined with hers, warm and solid and safe. Ground rules, Emma said. Therapy continues. I need my own space. We take this at my pace. And the second I feel uncomfortable or scared, we talk about it. Agreed. Anything else? No secrets. Complete honesty. And you have to let me pay for dates sometimes because I need to feel like an equal. Dante laughed. Deal. They sat together on the couch, just holding hands, and Emma felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope, not just for survival, but for happiness. Thank you, she whispered, for saving me. You saved yourself. You made the call. You chose to fight. I just provided backup. Still, thank you. Dante lifted her hand, pressed a gentle kiss to her knuckles. Thank you for trusting me, for giving this a chance. I promise I'll spend every day proving I'm worth that trust. 6 more months passed, slowly became steady. Dates turned into routines. Fear transformed into comfort. Emma learned that love didn't have to hurt, that relationships could be partnerships, that she could maintain her identity while sharing her life. There were hard days, panic attacks when Dante moved too fast, moments when old fears resurfaced. But he was patient and she was strong, and together they built something new. 1 year after that phone call, Emma stood in her apartment getting ready for Dante's birthday dinner. She looked in the mirror and barely recognized herself. Confidence had replaced fear. Strength had replaced submission. She was whole again. Her phone buzzed. Dante, ready for me to pick you up? Actually, I'm driving myself. I'll meet you there. Independence. Choice. Power. Perfect. See you soon. Emma grabbed her keys, paused at the door. 1 year ago, she'd been locked in a bathroom with a broken arm, terrified and hopeless. Now she was heading to dinner with a man who treated her like a queen, living in her own apartment, running a support group that helped dozens of women escape their own nightmares. She'd learned the hardest lesson. Toxicity thrives in silence. Speaking up saves lives. Leaving takes courage, but staying takes everything. And she'd survived. More than survived, she'd thrived. Emma walked out her door with her head high, ready to live the life she deserved. Before you go, this story matters. If Emma's journey moved you, if you know someone living in fear, or if you've survived your own fear, tell us what lesson you're taking from Emma's courage. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. Every subscription helps us reach more people who need to hear that leaving is possible, that help exists, that you deserve better. Don't just watch, be part of the movement.